Okay, I got a lot of comments and a lot of anticipation for a comparison between free Moondrop IMs, that being the original Chu, the Chu 2, and of course we have also Velan. They all come from the same brand, and they have a similar shape and are tuned based on the same VDSF target of Moondrop. So can we conclude that they're the same? Maybe, maybe not. But without further ado, let's find out. So when we look at the free boxes, I think you'll see the most familiar patterns happening with the Chu 1 and Chu 2's boxes. So let's take a look at them first. Both are going to be smaller sized black cardboard boxes. I guess with the Chu 2 it's more like a light gray. This one's a black though. However, the Chu 1 has a full colored anime waifu, which is very nice. Whereas with the Chu 2's, it's just black and white. It's still good, but come on, black and white. I want full color here, man. Another thing you can notice is that the Chu 1's top, as you can see here, it's actually made of clear plastic. And then you get this little cardboard inlay as well. So when you put them on, you put them in, and when you put the Chu in here, it makes for a very nice sort of display case effect that I really love. And in my opinion, it is definitely superior to the Chu 2, which just has literally just a bit of cardboard as a top flap, which is, to me, it feels like cost cutting for sure. Now, the Chu 1 box, it still also sticks to the full dark background motif here, right? Everything's black and gold. Whereas with the Chu 2, you have a white top and a white bottom, which to me kind of bad. I like the Chu 1 box more. Now going to Velan, you can see that it's definitely going to be a bigger box. If I stack these up on here, you can see that it's almost twice the size of the Chu boxes. So if you put the Chu 1 and Chu 2 on here, it's about the same size as the Velan box. But again, you also just get a black and white waifu. Give me some color, come on. I will make note of the inner box though. Look at this. It has a pearlescent kind of look to it, which sort of has different gradients of colors when you shine it under the right lighting and angles. And it has an engraved texture, which feels very defined, refined and wonderful. This I really like. So when you're looking at all three of these, I think I will give the unboxing win to Velan. But you know, it's kind of unfair given that Velan has an extra 20 bucks of budget to play with for its box, whereas these two are $20 each. So the Chu 1 box here, it's also quite respectable. What I'm most disappointed about is the Chu 2 box, which, like I said, is simply just a cut down version of its predecessor. With the Chu, you're getting free sizes of spring tips, which continue to be a stellar inclusion, although there are some terrible ear hooks and a bad pouch too, but hey, at least it's there, right? But Chu 2 gives you a bit less. You just get free sizes of generic Moondrop tips now, but thankfully the carrying pouch has been improved, and I vastly prefer the Chu 2 and the Velan's carrying pouch over the Chu 1's really tight carrying pouch. Velan, by value, is I guess giving you the least. Again, it's just got 3 pairs of generic tips, the same pouch as the Chu 2, and aside from some extra documentation, that's kind of it. My rankings here, going from best to worst, would be the Chu to the Chu 2 to Velan. I'm like really scratching my head right now at how Moondrop basically used the extra money to make the Velan box better, but they didn't allocate any of that budget for giving extra goodies and accessories for the Velan. So all 3 of these Moondrop IMs are based on a very similar design. They've all got metal builds that feel very hefty and premium for their admittedly low price, with the Chu 1 here having non-removable cables, as you can see. Whereas with the Velan and Chu 2, you're going to be getting removable 2-pin connectors. The Chu 1 and the Chu 2 will be sharing the same black and gold paint scheme with a gold leaf pattern. However, the leaf pattern on both will be a bit different. These may be more prone to paint chipping, but thankfully, as you can observe, my units are fine. Valan here does away with the paint and goes for a more silvery look that is very premium and personally charming to me. But it is, as you can see here, comparatively just a bit bigger than its Chu siblings. The Chu 2 has a gold nozzle, which also features a screw-off cap for easy filter replacement, as well as having some modding potential. Oh, and you can also use this to do some goofy stuff like sticking it inside the Kato, but maybe don't try that. So now let's take a look at the cables. Of course, the Chu 1's cable is non-removable, and it's easily the worst of the three because, you know, as you can see, they have like brown wires with like some bits of smaller wires inside. It really does look like the wires from a cheap old KZIM, and it tangles a lot too, so not great. Many people have shared this complaint with me. Now let's go to the Chu 2 cable, which is miles ahead of the Chu 1 cable. It's now, you know, a silvery kind of look with, you know, nice supple wires. It has proper ear guides instead of having to go with like the ear hooks of the Chu 1. And I wouldn't mind using this on other IEMs even. I really like this one. It's a great upgrade. The LAN cable is basically the best of the bunch. It's got even better wires than the Chu 2's cable. It's a bit softer. You get a left-right indicator with this little red ring here. But it's not a drastic upgrade for sure. Although I appreciate the extra funds being allocated into making it better though. I would also like you to notice that with the Chu 1 and the LAN cable, you're going to be getting a Velcro strap to organize the cable. With the Chu 2, they've basically omitted that too, so that's a further cost-cutting measure to get the budget of the Chu 2 to fit within $20 and still give you a removable cable. Okay, now that everything's out of the way, let's get to the part that you've been waiting for, the sound. Although they're kind of based on the same blueprint for their sound signature, the Chu, Chu 2, and the LAN each have a few small elements which differentiate them from each other. I won't go into too much detail about it, you can check my full reviews for that, but I'll give you the broad strokes and some relevant comparisons. So let's start with the Chu, the OG, right? It's probably a lot of people's first introduction to Moondrop, and it hasn't lost its charm, with a neutral, bright-leaning sound that gives you a glimpse at Moondrop's house sound. It's very nice for lighter genres still, and at its release, it had a class-leading imaging performance. However, it was not without its flaws, and it exhibited piercing artifacts in its portrayal of male vocalists. Many people who wanted a bit more bass impact on the Chu, they were also left wanting, although there were some mods that helped with that. And then came the LAN, which in my opinion is just a better Moondrop Chu. It used the same tuning formula that got the Chu on the map, but fixes up the piercing vocals, giving the LAN a truly great mid-range that handles vocals with not only good clarity, but also presence, and it does it in a way that is still restrained and free of shoutiness. Overall technical ability has also been improved on the LAN. You get better detail retrieval, and the imaging also had a step up. And finally, you've got the Chu 2. It's actually quite different from the LAN and Chu 1, and it's a slight departure from most Moondrop offerings, with a beefy bass boost and some proper attention to the mid bass and lower mids, which warms it up quite nicely to my tastes. If the Chu 1 and the LAN are great performers of lighter music, then the Chu 2 is a lot more universal, and it's able to tackle heavier genres as well. Technicalities here, they remain largely the same as the Chu 1, but the imaging on the Chu 2 is slightly improved. It sits in between the LAN and Chu 1. This new signature, it does introduce some new issues though, as although the welcomed bump in warmth and oomph are welcomed, It was perhaps a bit too heavy-handed and stresses the driver, which can be heard in some songs with the Chu 2. And the upper mid-range traded the piercing feels of the Chu 1, but then introduced a newly introduced brittleness to the vocals. Okay, now that you've seen all the details about the free Moondrop IMs, let's get into some observations that I've drawn from this. First is the Chu. It definitely hasn't been necessarily dethroned by its successor, given that it still has merit with its less bassy sound, and I would argue that the Chu 1, it still suits lighter music better than the Chu 2. Chu 1 here, it still stands out as the only one in the free Moondrop IMs here to actually include spring tips, an accessory that I would recommend all to have just as a spare. But Chu, it may still get a second life out of it, I think, if you can find them pre-owned for like, I don't know, $5 or $10 or something, given how cheap it was already. Now with used prices, it would be even better. With the Lan, I would argue that it is the true successor to the Chu instead of the Chu 2. As it essentially, the Lan continues the Chu's sound signature with just the right fixes and better technical performance overall. However, it is double the Chu's price with not much more accessories, and aside from the upgraded, more premium unboxing experience. As such, it presents kind of the worst value argument of the free IMs. But if you literally just seek a better Moondrop Chu, the Lan will be your go-to. Now with the Chu 2, Moondrop changed the essence of the Chu's sound with more bass and extra warmth, which turns it into a different animal from its predecessor. It will appeal more, I think, to first-time buyers being introduced to the Moondrop sound rather than those looking for an outright upgrade to the Chu. I think that part would be fulfilled by the Lan. The removable cable on the Chu 2 here is a visible improvement, but it does not offset the noticeably downgraded unboxing experience and the lack of spring tips as well. If you found the Chu to be too bass light and the Lan as well, hey, the Chu 2 is going to be right up your alley. Though there will be certainly some product line cannibalism going on here, Moondrop has done well to position the Chu 1, 2, and the Lan in relatively separate corners of the market, and you will find a good argument for owning each of them. Even if there are now quite a few players in the $20 price ladder, these IEMs continue to assert Moondrop as a force to be reckoned with in the Chifi world, both in the high end as well as the bottom segments.